The first edition of the Jordan Trade and Services Fair started in the Syrian capital Damascus on Tuesday and will run for 3 days. The event represents a gradual process of normalization of relations between Syria and other Arab nations after almost 10 years of rupture due to the foreign-imposed terrorist war. We have more details in the following report by our correspondent Hisham Wanas.
The fair, organized by the Syrian Ministry of Economy and Foreign Trade in cooperation with the Jordanian Chamber of Commerce and the Federation of Syrian Chambers of Commerce, is taking place at the Expo Damascus Fairground, with more than 60 specialized Jordanian companies. The initiative seeks to increase the commercial exchange between the two neighboring nations and showcase services that Jordanian companies can provide to the process of recovery and reconstruction of war-torn Syria. This event is an important platform to increase joint work in benefit of the two neighboring nations' interests. These efforts were diminished due to the war, but they have regained strength in the last 2 years with the reopening of the border crossing between both countries, which helped to increase the flow of goods in both directions and consequently increase the volume of bilateral trade.
En ambos sentidos y por consiguiente el incrementar el volumen del intercambio comercial bilateral.
There are outstanding economic and trade relations between the two countries, which we seek to consolidate through this kind of event despite the difficult circumstances caused by the blockade and foreign interference. This shows that nothing can undermine the brotherly relations and economic and trade cooperation between Syria and Jordan. The participating companies are exhibiting their services and products in the fields of construction, energy, information technology and communications, banking services, insurance, tourism, transportation and logistical requirements in the field of health and education. As vital sectors, Damascus is grateful to be able to count on the contribution of specialized companies from the neighbors, in the midst of the Western economic blockade that hampers official Syrian efforts to overcome the crisis. Through our participation in this event, we seek to offer the Syrian leadership and people our contribution to the reconstruction process of their country, and we do so with our company's contribution to the Syrian market of products needed to develop the renewable energy sector.
The unilateral economic sanctions imposed by Western countries not only hinder the reconstruction of the areas destroyed by terrorism, but also hamper the economic recovery of the country. So we appreciate the organization of this event that can help to break the blockade and reactivate the economic and commercial process in the country.
Some 135 Jordanian businessmen are also present at the fair, taking advantage of the opportunity to exchange views, experience and ideas with their Syrian counterparts on possible investment projects in sectors of common interest to both nations. This is one of numerous steps of rapprochement between the two countries, led by Jordan's recent decision to reopen its Jabal Nasser border crossing with Syria, and the subsequent bilateral ministerial meetings to strengthen trade, electricity, agriculture, and water cooperation between Damascus and its southern neighbor Amman.
Hisham Wanas, teleSUR, Damascus, Syria.